not only a therapy session for Leslie Headland, it is her manifesto to destroy Star Wars. Anything that is representative of the past, in this case, whatever tradition, stories of good versus evil, whatever, it is her masterpiece to destroy it, and it is ACOLYTE that is her passion project to destroy it.
Power of one.
Yes, yes.
Power of two. The power of many.
Yo, coming to you another video. We talked some politics, so let's talk about some pop culture. Going into a reaction video to the Critical Drinker's take on episode 3 of the ACOLYTE. Yes, we are getting into all of this. So the crash and burn that is Disney Star Wars, the crash and burn that is the ACOLYTE, the crash and burn that is the pinnacle of Kathleen Kennedy, and it's no longer, it's no longer parody, South Park, the whole put a chick in it, put it lame and gay, like that is reality, that is the show, that is the ACOLYTE. And when it comes to the show, like I have seen the episode, so we're gonna relive it, but just as much as Marvel Avengers, like all these standalone movies was leading towards Endgame, I think we are at the endgame of Disney Star Wars, where it is the culmination of woke, progressive, Marxist ideology all summoned in one. It's hollowing out everything that was Star Wars and just giving a corpse of it, right? And we are seeing the death of Star Wars as we are watching the ACOLYTE. Like everyone has talked about this, whether it's Geeks and Gamers or Star Wars theories or even like other people like Michael Knowles and everyone else, everyone who's been talking about this. And it is the corpse, it is a shadow, an echo, whatever you want to call it, of Star Wars, right? So let's look at it and get into it. So with that said, if you're new to this channel, what is up? My name is Mitch, Maverick Mitch. Hey Mitch, all the Mitches, the call sign Don, and I like talking about what I like talking about. So politics, pop culture, and everything in between. Be sure to check out all those videos as you're finishing this video, and hit that like, share, and subscribe as it feeds the algorithm. With that said, roll intro, and let's get into it.
Yes, yes.
Power of two. The power of many.
Yes, yes.
Episode 3 of the ACOLYTE was, without a doubt, one of the most devastatingly embarrassing spectacles I think I've ever witnessed on TV. 40 solid minutes of relentless, unadulterated, unapologetic, unaware cringe, distilled down to its purest and most toxic form. A show made by people who seem to despise
Okay, can we pause? Like, again, all spoilers, whatever, you're watching this, spoilers. A coven of witches, whatever, let's put that aside. They all die because of what? Carbon monoxide? What is this? Like a fire, and they couldn't. And these were all powerful like witches that were using force push all the time, and they can't avoid fires. I don't know what was going.
just Star Wars.
And again, it wasn't like if there was a warring tribe, whatever, and war was brought to their corners, and the Jedi was like somewhat involved, and then they were just in the conflict and everything. Like, it was just a fire that took this coven out.
But the very concept of filmmaking and storytelling in general, it's quite literally anti-entertainment made by anti-geniuses, and I do believe it may have broken what's left of the Star Wars fandom forever. Anyway, there's an extra large bottle of toilet duck with my name on it, so let's get this over with as quickly as possible.
And then, again, I'm just ranting as I'm listening to Critical Drinker. Sorry, this is top. If you want to watch Critical Drinker, just watch Critical Drinker, but I'm gonna go off of what he says and go and rant in myself and relive what I was watching last night. And again, let alone these child actresses were lame and gay, whatever.
possible. The episode begins 16 years before the main events of the show, on the peaceful planet of whatever stupid name the writers concocted this time, and we get to see strong female character and strong female antagonist when they're still little kids. I know this because of the subtle visual cues, like them still having the exact same hairstyle they'll have 16 years later. Because as we all know, everyone chooses to stay exactly the same forever. Anyway, strong female character and strong female antagonist live with their two mums in a coven of communist lesbian space witches that have chosen to isolate themselves from the rest of the Republic because...
I hate the rhyming. It's like, it is like when they did this like little rhyme of them being together, or even like the coven of witches that's saying the power of one, power of two, power of many. It's like, why, like it's a vast universe of Star Wars. Why did you have to use English, you know, or in the Star Wars universe, common language or whatever, I forgot, basic, right? And so it's just like again, not even, it's super lazy, right?
Because the galaxy doesn't tolerate women like them. Oh my goodness, I wonder what that could possibly be a reference to. The writing is so subtle on this show, you see, I just can't make out what they're driving at. Also, this is just a crazy thought on my part, but if you really want to remain hidden from the rest of the galaxy, maybe don't build your communist lesbian space witch community in a gigantic fortress on top of a mountain that's so big it can probably get seen from space.
Are you dumb or something?
Anyway, this is where the show tries its hand at character development, and I use that word about as loosely as I'd use the term fine dining to describe a pot noodle. The two strong female twins are due to go through a big ceremony to turn them into full-on witches because they were created without a father using the power of the Force. Sorry, the thread, but don't worry, we'll get into that soon enough. Believe that! But strong female character dreams of leaving the communist lesbian space witches behind and seeing what else is out there in the galaxy. Strong female antagonist, on the other hand, wants to stay right here and refuses to let her twin leave because she's a psychotic lunatic. I wonder if this is going to have repercussions later. So it's time for us to meet their mums. Strong female character number 4 and strong female character number 5, each of whom have slightly different perspectives on how to raise their strong female twins. Strong female character number 5 believes in discipline, caution, and suspicion of outsiders, while strong female character number 4 is more indulgent and free-thinking. And apparently she gets the last word on how they're raised because she created them with the power of the thread.
I carried them. I created them.
Liar, liar.
Now, you might...
Can we also address that? This whole line of I carry them, I created them. I think there is that idea in which, because these people, like Leslie Headland and all of the Kathleen Kennedy, because they didn't create Star Wars, they want to destroy it. Again, going back to the woke progressive Marxist ideology, that is one aspect of like the Cultural Revolution in China was to get rid of the olds. Every time like you have a revolution, you need to start from year 0 because you don't want to reference anything of the past, right? And like it goes to Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi, destroy the past. It is like all that stuff, right? And so here we are. I created them, I carry them, and it's this idea like I want to destroy this because we are the ones who are in power. And so all of this is not only a therapy session for Leslie Headland, it is her manifesto to destroy Star Wars. Anything that is representative of the past, in this case whatever tradition, stories of good versus evil, whatever, it is her masterpiece to destroy it, and it is ACOLYTE that is her passion project to destroy it, right?
You might have thought that Anakin was the only example of immaculate conception in Star Wars, but you'd be wrong, you bigot, because it turns out that not one...
Pause, immaculate conception. Wrong way to use it, but obviously from a Catholic perspective.
But 2 strong female characters got there like 100 years earlier. Why do I get Timeless Children and Star Trek Discovery vibes from all of this? Also, we might as well get this thread bullshit out of the way. So, like, you know how the Force has been one of the defining elements of Star Wars for almost 50 years, referenced in every single movie, game and TV show ever made? Well, it turns out we were all wrong, because according to the lesbian communist space witches, the real nature of it is a thread that binds all living things together. It's not a power that can be controlled or used as a weapon like those mean stinky Jedi do. Also, it's funny because literally seconds later, strong female character number 4 actually does use the thread as a weapon.
How embarrassing.
And the more I think about that, the more it seems like a perfect metaphor for people just like this, claiming one thing and then doing the exact opposite without ever acknowledging their own hypocrisy. Jesus, imagine still being a Star Wars fan at this point and having to reconcile all these conflicting bullshit ideas in your heads.
Yes.
Anyway, it's time for one of the most cringe-inducing scenes in all of Star Wars, and that's really saying something at this point.
Power 1, power 2, the power of many.
When I saw this, I actually had to pause the playback, walk away, and really just let it sink in. This is a thing that actually got made. Real functioning adults wrote, performed, edited, and scored this, and at no point in the process did anyone raise their hands and say, I think this might be a bad idea, guys. This is exactly what happens when you take people who consider this to be thought-provoking art and put them in charge of a $200 million Star Wars show. Truly, George Lucas must be so proud of what they've accomplished with his baby. Anyway, luckily for us, the ceremony gets interrupted when the mean stinky Jedi show up to kidnap the strong female twins because they think they could be powerful in the Force or something. You know, it's funny how there seems to be this real concerted effort by Disney to paint the Jedi in the worst possible light so that they can be replaced with something more modern. Anyway, strong female character number 5.
Okay, also let's pause there real quick. Like this whole like Jedi sequence, like why are they even on this planet, right? Like the reason why the Jedi was able to procure like younglings was because the village or the community in which the planet they're on, it's like you have Jedi across the land, and so like they would notify the Jedi. From my understanding, they would actually notify the Jedi. So for like again, you have Force users, like you would go the witches of Dathomir, like they're Force users. They're not good, like the Jedi wouldn't go to Dathomir and recruit Force users. Like obviously they know there's Force users, but you like. We're gonna go to communities that would want to give their children to the Jedi because you know like how else are you gonna maintain these gifts, right, of this child? Like only the Jedi can, right? And so again, it's just stupid. Like it's as if these people, Leslie Headland and all these people just watched Star Wars once and just got, like barely got an understanding of any of this stuff that was actually going on, and they wrote a fan fiction, and that's what it is, right? So yeah.
Doesn't appreciate this much and uses the thread as a weapon, even though it totally isn't a weapon according to them, to threaten token white guy with annihilation. Because really, who else out of this extremely diverse group of Jedi could she possibly choose as her victim? Anyway, eventually strong female Jedi is able to calm things down, and Squid Guy tries to win strong female character over to his side by handing her a lightsaber to play with.
Are you dumb or something?
Are you out of your fucking mind? She's a small child, and this is one of the deadliest weapons in the galaxy. Is this really how you want to attract someone to your cause? Like, what if she accidentally ignites it and cuts her own head off? Fucking mission failed right there, you dick. Anyway, so the Jedi's plan is to test the strong female twins to see if they've got Force potential, so the communist lesbian space witches hatch the genius plan for them to intentionally fail the test so they'll be left alone.
Yes.
Wow, 4-dimensional quantum mega chess going on there, ladies. Well done. Unfortunately, it all goes wrong when strong female character gets found out in a matter of seconds and decides to just pass the test anyway, so strong female antagonist does the smart thing and locks her in her room and then then sets her journal on fire in the middle of a stone hallway in a fortress that's made predominantly of stone. I mention the fact that it's made of stone so often because the fire quickly spreads and then engulfs the entire fortress, because apparently in this universe stone is more combustible than a 1990s shell suit. Oh yeah, and the communist lesbian space witches all die from boredom or something. Then strong female antagonist falls into a pit and strong female character gets rescued by Squid Game guy who agrees to take her to Coruscant and train her as a Jedi. But wouldn't you know it, strong female antagonist actually survived and begins her revenge trip. Wow, who could have predicted that when we totally know that she's alive 16 years later? You know, reviewing this episode is kind of an exercise in...
They totally, let's also pause there, they totally like botch, and again, going back to lazy writing, there could have been something really interesting in which, especially going into 3 episodes of it, like, you could have really had this idea in which Osha was like conflicted, maybe she's doing this and not knowing, you know, maybe she's blacking out and committing these crimes or whatever, or like some form of a force astral projection type of thing. They could have done something really interesting here, and then lo and behold they just said everything in the first episode, like what. Whatever.
Utility at this point, because really, what is the point anymore in complaining about nonsensical and contradictory writing, the horrendous cinematography, the wooden acting, and the terrible dialogue? Those things are all par for the course in The Acolyte. You almost expect it now. The bigger problem now is that it's honestly difficult to feel much of anything for The Acolyte or Star Wars in general, because I think this show is proof, if you ever needed it, that this is just how things are going to be now. Star Wars isn't going to be saved by anyone. It's not going to go back to the way it was, and it's not going to improve in any meaningful way because there's no one left with the will or the talent to do it. The Acolyte represents their ultimate vision for this franchise. It's the perfect distillation of everything Disney and the so-called creatives at Lucasfilm want to inject into George Lucas's vision, and they're not going to stop. Kathleen Kennedy recently bemoaned all the criticism that she and women like Leslie Headland have taken for their creative decisions because the predominantly male fan base just can't seem to recognise their genius. Well, congratulations, Kathy, because that seems to be a problem that you've gradually solved with every new show and movie that you've produced. If there's no fans left at all, then there's no toxic male fans left either. Genius! So in that respect at least, I guess you've kind of won by default. Congratulations! Star Wars is all yours now. And this here is your prize, an empire of dust. A franchise in ruins. And really, I hope it was all worth it. I hope it was worth the billions of dollars you've blown on failed projects over the years. I hope it was worth provoking the contempt and finally the apathy of millions of Star Wars fans that have just chosen to walk away. I hope it was worth it to have a legacy of absolute failure. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Alright, so wrapping it up, final thoughts. I think Critical Drinker just kind of like said it all, right? As much as I said in the beginning, this is the end game. This is the pinnacle of where Disney Star Wars is at. And again, Critical Drinker is saying like this is your prize, an Empire of Ash, you know? And so, yeah, you know, it's just so sad because when it comes down to it, a lot of fans, like whether it's Star Wars theories and all that stuff, you know, if they were actually writing good stuff, we would buy it, you know, we would continue to consume, but like, and what sucks, and with this whole journey, there has been highs and lows. Like, The Mandalorian was fun, maybe not so much the last season. Ahsoka was a hit and miss type of thing for me, you know, like Rebels was good, all the games, Fallen Order, Star Wars, Jedi Survivor was great, you know, and then we get like Andor, which is I didn't like, and then we got Kenobi, I didn't like, you know, it's a hodgepodge, and obviously the sequel trilogy was trash altogether. But my point being, and again, to more elaborate what Critical Drinker is saying, like, you know, this is the culmination again of Kathleen Kennedy or just people who don't care, like they were just letting this all ride through, and so again, we are at the pinnacle of the crash and burn of Disney's Star Wars, and yeah, I would lean into Critical Drinkers assessment that no one's gonna save Star Wars, not the Jon Favreau, not the Dave Filoni's, and no one. Like, this is it's all gone. It is crash and burn. They can continue to do this, but like, is anyone gonna care anymore? Like, are we all seriously done at this point? Obviously, we are all just watching it. The ones who are watching it are all the creators, right? So we can talk about it. But are folks actually watching this? Probably not. They're just waiting on the rest of us to talk about it and see the clips and all that stuff from the rest of us. And so, yeah, it is sad because, I mean, there is a lot of good mythology you can build from Star Wars and a lot of lessons you can build, but like, not when you're doing, again, this woke, progressive, Marxist ideology. Like, you could very well do stories of good versus evil. You can have strong male characters, strong female characters, and do great things, but you undermine it with stupid stuff and not with any care. And so, ranting continuing and ranting done, I guess. And so, yeah, let's just wrap it up there. So, thank you for watching. If you hang out to this portion, tell me what you think about Acolyte if you are even watching, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you. E como espero tuo.